Good evening, welcome to Best Laid Schemes, where we're playing D&D in the Mythic Odysseys of Theros universe. With me are Adrienne, Darren, Jill and Mark. Where we left the party last week, they had made their way through the lands of the Theros centaurs, after performing a service that for the centaurs. They are first fast talking, then a service for the centaurs, and then a little bit of a side mission into the mountains. The party have returned, and Pims now bears a tattoo of the Theros centaurs, which, as you make your way through, through the broken rock-studded plains of the Theros centaurs, you do encounter a number of other roving war bands who are initially pretty aggressive, but after presenting your tattoo and answering some of their questions, they accept your explanations and allow you to pass. They do study the tattoo and note that it has particular subtle details that only a centaur would know to put in there. So, and before long, your journey brings you into the foothills of the Cataclon Mountains. The broken rock of the plains gives way to gently sloping grasslands and scrubby forest. It's a bit pathetic compared to the Nessian woods. That primal woodland just dwarfs these straggly pine trees, but there's enough forests for there to be a little bit of game, plenty of birds about, and you can begin to see in the distance. You begin to see evidence of settlements, farmland, some of the outlying settlements that support the polis. There are no cats, apart from Hester. So, do you have any clear plans? Where are you heading initially? Are you just going to continue directly towards the polis, or? Yes, Pims, you would know that the Titan stairs is a huge staircase that leads up the mountainside. There are forts as well, small, like more watchtowers rather, at various points up the top. There is a fort at the base of the stairwell, and at the top of the stairwell, astride the entrance to the main polis of Akros, stands the Colossus of Akros, which it is said can be animated by the priests of the colophon in times of need, but you've never seen it happen in all your time. But you are some distance away from that. The road that you took when you left Akros, it winds. There's a fairly extensive band of farmland on the edge between the plains and the mountains. There are a bunch of serfs scraping a living because they give the majority of their crop to the polis. if it's any consolation, I have also forgotten it. I did. It was Ptolema. Ptolema. Yes, with a P. No, not really. Maybe occasionally they would bring a monster in for the Heroan Games, for gladiators to fight in the arena. But I think you've probably seen gladiators fight a griffin in the arena. In fairness, but along with a whole bunch of other monsters, and like some of the lektoi will have spent time combing the mountains looking for monsters that they could capture and bring back for the games. There were a handful, yeah, because Akros is close to the to Phobos, the Minotaur homeland, but they're not well trusted because of the hoplites spend so much time fighting against Phobos Minotaurs that ones that even more civilized Minotaurs are not particularly popular within the polis. You are heading across it. Basically, you are coming across the fields because you are approaching the city from the Furies lands, and in the distance you spot some figures who appear to be moving in your direction. As they get a little closer, you realise that Pins, that they look like Alamon, one of the they are the roving basically scouts, skirmish warriors who patrol the outskirts of the polis's territory. As they get a little closer, you can make out that they are wearing, their armour is mostly boiled leather. They are wearing red. You can make out on their armour a boar's head motif. And as they get within earshot, they hail you. Declare yourselves! Declare yourselves! Yeah, you would know that basically all of the just fill you in. There are two tiers of society in Akros. There is the noble class of lektoi, descended from the 7 warriors who founded the polis, and each of them has a different animal motif. And the boar is one of those. There are many more than 7 families of lektoi now, but they all use one of the 7 animals of the founders to symbolise their house. And all of the soldiers of the polis are of that that noble class of lektoi, and then supporting them you have the serfs. So, we can proceed. Where was I when we cut out? Yes. Okay, so the rest of them seem satisfied with that, but they are looking pretty suspiciously at Dericles and Hester. What is your business? What is your business? What were you doing in Fairies' lands? You have... okay. Okay. You have a fairies... Ha! Well... Really? Yeah, go on, make a roll. Oh wow, okay. Really? You have accomplished all these deeds? Maybe you can help us. Come. They change direction and head off back towards the mountains, but not quite the way they came. Please accompany us. Are you gonna follow them? Okay. Okay. Um, the Alamon are keeping an eye on you over their shoulders. Two of them have moved. Some distance out onto the flanks so that they can easily keep watch on you. Just ahead, but as you once you're underway, he drops back a little. This group of soldiers are all male, by the way. He drops back. Okay. Good for him, but he holds no rank in Akros. Oh God. Please. Take his badge number. Sorry, bear with me while I get my look up my name list. Okay. His name is Damon. I'm going to have to write that down so that I don't forget it. Sorry. Well, if you are such accomplished heroes, then perhaps you can help us with a little investigation. Some of the serfs have been delivering below their appointed harvest. We're coming to have a look and see what is going on. Usually we will when we get there, but usually the serfs are diligent throughout the polis territories. It is unusual for them to under deliver. Hard to say. It is suspicious if it was damage to crops by some means because of flooding, landslides, something like that, then that is the sort of thing that they probably would have reported. Oh yes, if they were being if they were under attack regularly, we often come out here to deal with raids by the Fiery Centaurs. They're constantly harassing our serfs. Their lands may be turned over to others. who can deliver. We will see what the problem is. I am empowered to make a judgment. But why don't you talk to them first and see what you can discover? Well, Linden. Yes. These are the Cataclon Mountains. This is clearly more than a simple crop failure. That is why the Alamon are sent. Something is wrong. We do not know what. I am making it your problem. Let us say I need to be assured of your group's trustworthiness before we allow you into the polis. Well, then you are free to enter. We don't know. He is close by talking to you. The other three Alamon are spread out kind of a little distance away. Okay, what's the radius on that? Oh, it's just on him. Okay, what's the save on that? Charisma. He fails. Okay. Into the city? Yes, when we are satisfied that you pose no threat to the polis. That remains to be seen. Yes, Pims is known to us. Well, to my fellow. But the rest of you, we do not know. And we would like to before we allow you into the polis. You must remember that the polis of Akros is the buffer between the civilized lands and, well, partially civilized lands and the Minotaurs of Phobos. Not to mention the necropolis of Odonos. He certainly seems less aggressive. But let me just double check the calm. That sounds like that is combat application. Let me just check the description. Attempt to suppress strong emotions. It is a 20-foot radius sphere. Hang on a minute. That's interesting. You can suppress fear or charm with it. I didn't know that. That is good. Indifferent about creatures of your choice that it is hostile to all tools. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It does seem to have had an effect, but it's not. It doesn't seem to have changed his. It's not changed his opinion of you. It's just made him less antsy about it. So, well, he's walking with you towards the towards a distant settlement. Yeah, you're not literally at any sort of gate or checkpoint. No, you're out in the fields. Pims, you would know that the road that you took from Akros to Meletis is some distance to the west of here, and so there's basically this strip of settled land at the foot of the mountains, and occasionally up in the mountains there's the odd little valley where little small farms are set up, and this is what supplies the polis with food. By all means. And he walks ahead. 1 minute, okay. I will tell you. Hang on. When you left Pims, yes, the polis has been ruled for as long as you can remember, by the regent Taranika, and she. It's a constant. There is constant talk of who is going to take over the city. So for the last at least a decade, as far as you can remember, there has been talk of the regent stepping down to let a true ruler take over. But there is so much infighting between the different families that it has never been successfully sorted out. Taranika. You would also know that there are one of the reasons that she's never been formally replaced is that there is a substantial number of people in the polis who believe that that King Anax is not actually dead. He died under mysterious circumstances, and his wife disappeared. So it's in fact, actually, Pims, you would know that Queen Saimede was said to have transformed into a pillar of fire and vanished into the wind when she learned of his death. But some people don't believe he died at all. There's a lot of stories that circulate about it. But as a result, some people think that the king is going to come back someday. Some people think that the queen will return. Some people think that they're both dead and somebody else should take over. And in the meantime, Taranika is just keeping her head down and getting on with the business of running the polis. As far as you know. So there you go. That's you. Okay. You see smoke rising in the distance from a few. Well, I say chimneys from some small crude huts, basically. And you slowly approach a small village nestled right in the foothills of the mountains. There are some scraggy fields of corn nearby. Some serfs working in the fields, pulling up weeds. Damon marches into the village and calls, "Who's in charge here?" And one of the serfs shuffles out of a hut. He is an older man. His face is lined with exposure to the weather. His hair is thinning. He's wearing a fairly coarse tunic and sandals, and he says, "I am Headman Thomas. What can we do for you?" And Damon produces a wax tablet. He says, "I'm told that you have not delivered a full complement of grain. Can you tell us why?" The headman sort of hangs his head and says, "We have delivered as much as we could. The crop has been poor." Make an insight roll. If anybody else wants to make an insight roll, if you're watching this, if you want to make a roll, then let me know. 2. Okay. He is clearly being kind of subservient, and there's a veneer of respect there, but you get the sense that he really just wishes that the Alamon would just go away and leave him alone. Oh, okay. Hester, you are just thinking, you notice, even though he's hanging his head and looking at the floor, you can see his eyes darting about on the floor. You think that he's hiding something. Okay. What do you, the basically Damon is basically just sort of like just grilling him with like increasingly detailed questions, and like Thomas is kind of a bit taken aback and floundering for answers. Um, Damon throws you a dirty look, Dericles, and gestures. Have a look around the village. See what you can find. And the other Alamon split up and all go off and start searching through the huts and so on. Well, yes. What did you want to say to? We are just serfs. We work as hard as we can. We are sorry that our offering was insufficient. Yeah, you can. Damon is basically sort of like striding about the village, trying to sort of like demanding answers from other villagers as well. Everyone here seems to be a lot of work has stopped. Basically, everybody seems to be kind of like, oh crap, the lektoi are here. No, it is just a poor harvest. You can see that this is not a bountiful land. We're doing our best. Do you want to make one more insight roll, please? Oh, really? Wow. Okay. When you say the word frightened, you see him like almost like an involuntary twitch. This man is terrified, but not of anyone here, you think. I am Headman Thomas. He looks around at you. I'm sorry, no, should I? Damon comes back over. What and pretty much cuts you off. What is going on here? Okay, roll. Quite a bit. Okay, yeah. Because you're a head taller than him, but it's a bull's head, and he involuntarily takes a step back and kind of goes to shout at another serf. You can hear him sort of like ranting about the state of their hovels and the quality of the roads and stuff. He's yeah. So Pims, do you want to make a performance roll? Okay. You have all heard Pims perform this better, but the serfs here are pretty impressed. You get the impression they don't often hear a lot of music, so a small crowd gathers as they listen to your performance. What song are you performing? What story are you telling? Okay. Make a perception roll, please. Oh yeah. Oh yes, of course you do. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you notice even behind Thomas's back, you realise that a lot of the villagers are kind of like muttering to each other, kind of excitedly but also fearfully, and as you speak to Thomas, he looks into your eyes actually, and he gives a tiny shake of his head. Okay. What are you gonna say? We were due 5 sacks of barley, 3 sacks of wheat, There are supposed to be turnips. We had hardly any turnips. He's looking down this like wax tablet, like reeling off sort of like basically there's sort of like what he seems to be complaining about is that they were sort of like a sack of grain short here, or like a barrow of root vegetables missing there. Make a perception roll. No, a persuasion roll. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Of course. There's. Yes. Of course. There's nowhere here for them to hide it. He gathers. He calls the rest of the Alamon together and heads out away from the village. And as he goes, he turns to you, Shade, and says, "See what you can find out. I want some results." He marches on. The four of them sort of like march off, and like his men kind of like fall into step behind him. They appear to be pretty well trained, or they just really enjoy playing at being disciplined soldiers. Okay. 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 You wander back. He is. Where are we? He is looking very nervous, and he moves away, but kind of like loudly directing the villagers to get back to work. But a woman sidles up to you. She's kind of middle-aged, again, very sort of like calloused hands, crude clothing, but her eyes are very bright, and she mutters to you, "Please come with me." Okay. She leads you into one of the huts, and are the rest of you following her, or any of you going to stay outside? Thomas is loudly directing everybody back to work. Okay. Well, Damon's like they're heading off out into the fields at the moment with the rest of his men. So. Okay. Okay. So who's gone into the hut with this woman? Okay. Let me just make a note of the Names. Right. I'm glad you're here. She says to you. Thomas is afraid. He dare not speak to you. We are beset by a demon. It lives in a cave nearby. It torments us. Leaves us alone mostly during the day, but at night it stalks the fields. It threatens us. It taunts us. It demands offerings, and all we have to give it is some of our food. Yes, it is. Its skin is grey like charcoal. It wears gold. It wears a gold headdress and bracers. It has wings like some sort of bat. Yes. About 6 to 7 feet. It's a demon. It has taken a couple of the villagers. We are having to work even harder to make up for the loss of them. We dare not speak of it to the lektoi. We are forbidden. Yes, it will kill us one by one if we tell anyone about it. But only at night. Some of us have woken up to find it inside our hut. Please do. We think it can fly. Its fingers are clawed. I don't know. It brings an aura of hopelessness with it. I think it is. I think that is its power. She grips your shoulder. If you have anything of value, it will know. It will come for you. Yes, it is. She She points. It is beyond the fields towards the mountains there. You will see there are a pair of stunted trees on an outcrop, and the cave is just beyond them. She is pointing in more or less the direction that Damon and his men went off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You can feel her you can feel her trembling through her hand on your shoulder. She as you do like that, she realizes and steps back out of your personal space. I said nothing to you. Okay. She closes the door behind you. Okay. Yeah, the villagers are also somewhat kind of suspicious of you, Derocles. They are constantly stealing glances at you, and as you approach, they stiffen up and become they pretty much like stop what they're doing and to see what you want with them. Okay, well, one of the younger serfs kind of like gives a half-hearted wave back, but a lot of them are just doing their best to ignore you and get on with their work. Do you want to make a nature roll? Oh, okay, yes, you can put. Okay, yeah. I mean, when they see you doing something as homely as weeding, a couple of the villagers like who are working nearby kind of relax and sort of and nod to you. It's hard to be intimidated by a minotaur that is pulling plants out of the ground. So I'm sure you can, unless she doesn't want you to. Damon. I think this village is only a dozen or so huts, so it's you could. Yeah. Okay, your bell ring. um. Good grief. Okay. The entire village stops what they're doing in alarm to look at you. Pims, you can hear this too. Somebody make a perception roll, please. Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Okay. Right, Hester? Really? So, okay, right, okay. Yeah, Hester and Shade, you can hear somebody calling Pim's name. From outside the village. It's getting louder. Yeah, it's one of the Alamon. After a minute or two, you can all. After a moment, you can all hear it now. Somebody shouting, "Pims! Pims!" And a figure comes round the side of one of the hovels. It is one of the Alamon. In fact, it's the one that recognised you, Pims. He is bleeding from a set of livid scratches across his face, but he also appears to be covered in a lot more blood than you would expect from just that wound. He scrambles towards you and collapses on the floor. "Please help us! We were attacked! Please help them!" "Yes." "Yeah, yes." Okay. He's hurt. He can't be that bad because he's just sprinted into the village. He's injured. Yeah. Villagers are gathering around him, and they seem they're picking him up and taking him into one of the huts. So, okay. The village basically they take him inside a hut. As you leave the village, you can hear Thomas exhorting everyone to please remain calm. And yeah. Yep, that's perfect timing. Yep. Okay, we will be back shortly. Welcome back. Right, you rush out of the village, following the direction that you're pretty sure the Alamon warrior came from, and you pass through some a field, and then you can hear some sort of scuffle going on beyond some sort of like scrubby bushes at the edge of a field, and you push through the bushes to reveal a clearing splattered with blood. That two of the warriors are on the floor. One of them is Damon. He's crawling towards you. His leg is bleeding really badly, and there is a creature. Its skin is greyish black, like the Returned, but it doesn't wear a mask. You can see its face. Its mouth is wide and grinning, full of extremely sharp, pointed teeth and livid red gums. Its eyes are kind of glowing with a golden light, and it wears a headdress, a big horned headdress that is lined with additional eyes all the way up its horns. It's wearing golden armour, and a pair of like enormous black bat wings extend from its back. It is holding the head of one of the soldiers up and plucking at its belt. As you enter the clearing, its enormous head swings towards you. Gold! Bring me gold! It drops the body it's holding. I'll just show you. You can. I'll allow you to do that before we roll initiative. It is not undead. It is just ugly. I will show you a picture. Hold on. Where have I put it? Sorry, bear with me. Losing all of the inertia there. Right, let's just go to that. There we go. That is the creature. It is looking towards you. Please roll initiative. That's good. Yeah. What else have we got? Oh. Fantastic. Makes perfect sense. We if only we had some sort of recording where we could look this stuff up. All we need is a fan base to make us a wiki, and then we'd know. Darren, Jill, what have we got? 10. Also, would anybody like to make a religion roll? Anybody can try this. 13. That's not really high enough. Okay. So let's see. While that is sort of Jill, have you got an initiative for me? What? Oh, okay. So no, you've okay. Well, okay. Well, Shade, you will get to act. Oh. Okay. Okay. Shade, you are first then. Okay. Um, um, let's see where do you want to just check the? I've put the map on screen. Okay. Oops. You are currently 55 feet away. Yeah, so you're going to move. You can move 30 foot towards it. Yeah. You don't seem too happy about it. You're now 25 feet away from it, so yeah, you can throw your. Okay, and you want to throw your sword out. So yeah, you can throw your dancing sword out. You can, yes. Make a roll. That will hit. That's what I needed. Yeah. Okay. Your right, yeah. Your blade carves into its flesh, like the returned. The edges of the wound kind of dissolve into ash. Yes. So. Was that was your magic sword? Yes. Oh yes, it is. It is magic damage. You are. That was your bonus action to throw the sword out, wasn't it? What's your main action? Oh, that was it. Right. Okay. Cloak of Stars. Cool. In that case, Hester, you're up. Okay. The book. You have the book. What's the range that you can summon the book? Is it 30 feet? Okay, so... Okay. There you go. Where do you want it? Okay. No, I'm afraid not. It's on the ground at the moment. Oh no. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Does it get a save? Okay. Oh yes, you'll need to move. You'll need to move up next to Shade to get. So that's. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Cursed. Okay. It is cursed. You've got Cloak of Stars on, haven't you? I'm going to use that icon for Cloak of Stars. There you go. Okay. That means so you've moved up to there, Hester. Okay, Dericles, you're up next. Okay. Oh, just there. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I should have got prepared an icon for him. I guess he's closest to Pims, so I will. What I will do is duplicate Pims and then put him there. But I will. He's not. He's not dead, but he's bleeding. So I'm gonna. What can I give him? He's prone, so I will mark him as prone. There we go. That's a. Yes, you can. You've only moved 5 feet, so you can now move another 25. You can get right up to him. Okay. Okay. He looks up at you as you do so, like cringing away from you, but then he seems confused as he feels like the flesh of his wounded leg knit back together. Thank you, he says. Okay, Pims. So, after Dericles. Yep. Next to your doppelganger. Oh yes. Okay, go for it. Let's see. Oh no. Okay. No. Okay. That does hit. Okay. 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 Oh. Thank you for reminding me, Jill. Yes, sorry. I'd even marked him as cursed. Okay. So that was 16, was it? That's another 16. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You hurl the javelin. It lodges in its shoulder, and the lightning lances out to the creature, and with Hester's curse twining around it like strings of sticky black smoke, it writhes in the grip of your lightning bolt. It did not like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, brilliant. Right, who's got the most gold on them? Oh, go on. Yes, instead of swapping weapon? Okay. Yes, you can. Okay. It is resistant to cold and necrotic damage, and it is immune to poison damage and poisoning. Okay, so yes, let's see, it moves. Right. It is going to. It reaches its wings out, and it flaps and like rises up in the air. It covers the distance, disconcerting. No, not in this case, I'm afraid. It closes on you, Shade, and reaches out for you. Actually, it stops there. As it's reaching for you, Shade, it turns its head slightly and takes a deep breath and breathes. There is from its mouth thick black smoke pours. It tumbles from its mouth and kind of like boils along the ground. It breathes out in a cone that catches basically all of. Hang on a minute, let me just double check. It's a 30-foot cone. What's the angle of the cone usually? Is it 60? Or 30? Sorry, I just need to double check the angle because I don't think it can get all of you. Do you know what? I think it's gonna get Dericles, Pims, and Damon. I rather than waste time looking it up. You're the biggest threat, so it breathes at you. Can you two make DC 14 Charisma saving throw, please? Pims and Dericles. Okay. Charisma, yeah. Target DC 14. So Pims, you succeed. You succeed. Unfortunately, Damon does not. Appropriately enough, since he's still prone on the ground, the black smog kind of boils over him. You hear him choking and spluttering in it. Let's see, that is. Ooh, that is 27. Let's see. Okay. You hear him choking, and but at least you can hear him choking. It hasn't gone scarily quiet. So, having breathed, it slashes at you, Shade. With disadvantage, of course, because of your Cloak of Stars. Yes, so that's 16. Okay, it slashes at you for 13 points of slashing damage, plus 11 points of necrotic damage. And okay, plus 11 necrotic, and then it slashes with its other hand with disadvantage. But oh wow, okay, it rolled 2 natural ones. Yes. Okay, tell you what. As it slashes its other hand at you, its hand becomes entangled in your Cloak of Stars for a moment, and it struggles to pull its claws free of your cloak. Okay. Right. It is now back to your turn, Shade. Until Hester's turn, yes. Oh, right, okay. In that case, I will remove the curse. There we go. Yes. It certainly can. Make a roll. Uh, 20, that will definitely hit. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, in that case, Hester, it's your turn. Oh, you can move, yes. Where do you want to move to? Round that way. Okay. Hester. Ooh. Okay. Right. Wisdom. Oh, right. Okay. You can feel that it is difficult for your magic to get a hold on this creature, and yet it does. And the you can you feel the command settle into its mind. It's not a comfortable sensation, but it's definitely taken. It locks eyes with you with a look of utter hatred. I think on its on its turn it will do that. So far, the command is now in its head. I will I'll use the curse icon to remind me. Okay, where do you want to move the book to? Round the side? Okay, I'll move it up there. That will miss. I'm afraid. That will still miss. I'm afraid. Yeah, your book flails at it, but it glances off its leathery skin. Either way, yeah. Okay, how far and which way? Okay, 25 feet. That's 30 foot. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've moved. Okay. So yeah, you've retreated to the edge of the clearing. It follows you with its beady, glowing yellow eyes. Deracles. Oh yes, sorry. It has now dispersed, and you can see that Damon is looking pale but still alive. Okay. Okay. There we go. That will hit, yeah. Okay. Oof, right. Yeah, your axe carves into its flesh. One part of its a piece of the gold armor that encrusts its body falls off, and it clutches for it as the piece of gold tumbles to the floor. Let's see. Is that all of your action? No. Oh, right, okay. Whoa, okay. Right. Okay, yeah, so the blade, your axe cleaves through its flesh, and where you've cut into it, a pale silvery glow spreads across its skin. It screeches in pain. Okay. Second attack. That's gonna hit. 12 slashing, 3 necrotic. Okay. That's. I did. Yeah. but it's not resistant to slashing damage. So, yeah, again, you carve another great gash in it. It is, it's not looking well. It's wearing a lot of wounds now. Anything else, Deracles? Okay, Pims, you're up. Okay, that way. Okay. Yeah. Really nice. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. $26. Okay. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're flanking because of shade, so you do have advantage. Not quite enough, I'm afraid. Okay. That will hit. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good grief. My God. Okay, so what happens? Right. Go for it. No. Not quite. Okay. Well, let me tell you what happens then. Basically, you carve into it with your glaive, It reels before your attacks, and then suddenly, just as you're about to deliver your next barrage of attacks, Hester's spell kicks in, and this creature throws its arms wide, falls to its knees, and bends down towards Hester, and Pims, its neck is presented perfectly for you to just cleave its head straight off. The body of this creature dissolves into acrid black smoke, leaving behind the golden armour plating, which clanks to the floor. In addition, at its side, it had a velvet pouch, which falls to the floor with a loud clink. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there are two bloodied bodies over at the edge of the clearing, where you saw them when you came in, and there is Damon lying on the floor behind Pims. Oh, sorry, Hester, you were looking after him, weren't you? Okay. Damon's Damon staggers to his feet and stumbles over towards his fallen comrades. In this black velvet pouch, there is 47 gold pieces of various denominations. Some of them are strange; you don't recognise them at all, the coinage, but it looks like gold. Okay. And there is also a scattering of gold armor plates. Sorry? Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yes. It appears to be kind of a solid gold plate. You don't think it'd make very good armor because gold's too soft, but it's very it's certainly very shiny. Oh. It doesn't look that new, but it is wearing, and it's wearing more gold than it's carrying. They did. Okay. Yeah. Let's. It was 47 gold pieces. So you have a look around. Yeah, you are not too far from the mountains. You are. If you move away from the clearing, then you're leaving Damon behind. He is attempting to pick up one of the Calamon warriors, and he kind of looks up at you a little bit dazed and says, "Yes, of course. I will stay here and guard my comrades' bodies." Only a few minutes. It's not far. Okay. So are all four of you heading to look for the cave? No, not from here. There's too much like scrub. I'm just asking if you're all going together or if anybody is staying behind. Anyone? Okay. I will. So. Yeah. He seems. He's weak. And tired and confused. But yeah, he is a warrior. So he seems like tough enough to handle it, but he looks just a little shell shocked. He kind of like sags down there at the edge of the clearing, and the rest of you head on through the scrub. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to find your way through the scrub to the base of the mountains, and start to look around. You can't immediately see a cave. There's to the right, the mountains become craggy and steep. To the left, there is a jutting outcrop with a couple of scrubby trees on it. Which way are you going to go? They may have done. Well, you've reached the base of the base of the mountains now. There's kind of like it's now gone from kind of uneven ground into like a rock cliff directly in front of you. You do not. The main thing that you sense at the moment is that there is a noticeable a clustering of threads tangled around Deracles, and stretching up into the mountains. Not particularly. There's not really any noticeable threads. It's hard to tell because they glimmer and twist and come and go, but the ones that are really catching your attention at the moment are the ones on Deracles. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You head in that direction. So a couple of things as you scramble up onto this outcrop of rock, and immediately, Deracles, you can see that just on the other side of it there is a cleft in the rock that appears to go quite deep into the mountain. And Pims, you notice, although the your fate vision is beginning to fade now, you can see that when Deracles is standing up on this outcrop, the threads are stretching northwest up past the immediate mountains and up into the upper ranges of the mountains in the distance. Make a let's see, make a make an intelligence roll. Yeah, I'm sure. No. Okay, yeah. You look. You're not exactly sure where you are at the moment in because you've not been to this area before, but pretty sure that's the direction of Akros. It's down just on the opposite side of this escarpment of rock. You couldn't see it before, but now you can. So, so yeah, you head round there, and it is it's pretty dark in there. Who can see in the dark. Okay. Okay. You light the torch, and it helps. Like even any of you with dark vision. Just to check, Jill. Can you still hear us? I think we might have lost Jill. I was going to say. Okay. I hope she's all right. Surely she would have said, she would have rung you if she dropped offline. Just check she's okay. Possibly. If she has, I wouldn't want to wake her. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. Well, you. Where am I? What am I doing? That's what I want. Okay, so you light up your torch. By the flickering torchlight, you can see that it's a natural cave, but scattered around the entranceway there are some rather pathetic piles of sacks. There's a sack of wheat. There's a couple of sacks of barley. There is kind of like a pottery bowl piled high with turnips, but they all seem to have been just left out in the elements to rot. As you go deeper into the cave, there is a terrible stench, and towards the cave kind of it widens out at first and has a fairly dry, earthy floor, and then it narrows to a cleft again. Right in the back, there looks like probably 2 corpses, but they're kind of hard to recognise because they're mangled and dismembered. There's a lot of teeth marks. That's not helpful, Discord. Sit tight. Well, we're nearly done, so we could wrap up at this point and pick up next week. Yeah. So should we do that, and then Jill's not missing anything out. So as far as you can tell, looking around. What you do notice though is that there is a small wooden chest perched on a rock at the back of the cave as well. Yes. Kind of. I'm not sure that many people would want to eat them. Okay. Well. It's definitely turnip, slightly mouldy. yeah, these turnips have got wet and started to degrade. Okay, well, what we'll do is we will leave you there surveying the vegetable and human carnage, and we will pick up next week with your wrapping up this little investigation. And so thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow, whatever, and we will see you next week for more adventures in Theros. Thank you. Oh, you're back, Jill. I was just saying goodbye. No. Do you want to stay on for another 10 minutes to wrap up, or should we pick up next week? We shall wrap up next week then. Thanks very much. Bye bye.